the last official day of Extra Life United 2019. Hopefully you guys are well fed, got some drinks in you, and ready for this amazing panel. I mean, look at this. All right? I mean, we got Rooster Teeth, we got YouTube personalities, we have Wade, we have Tyler, we got Chad, we got Katie, we got Jack. Guys, can I get a round of applause for these amazing people already to start us off? So we're here to talk about what it takes to create a more engaging charity stream. Just a quick little show of hands out there. Who here are streamers, content creators yourselves? Very cool. All right, so we definitely have an interested crowd. So, hello, how are you guys doing today?
Good.
I know you guys are going to be sharing microphones, so it's
great.
There you go.
What?
Great,
we won. All right.
off to a very, very good start. So, building your communities. You guys all have very different communities, different channels, different ways of doing things, which is perfect because, you know, variety is the spice of life. What is some of the ways that you guys have come to cultivate your communities and to get them behind charity?
Want to start, Jack?
Sure, I'll start. So, with ours, basically, my sort of personal belief is you get what you give. And so when we do Extra Life stuff, it's a lot of passion, a lot of drive, and I think it's very authentic. And that's a huge thing for us because it's easy to be like, oh, yeah, we're just going to talk about this thing that we got sponsored, whatever, okay, we don't really care, and we're done. For Extra Life, it's so much more the passion, what we put into it is what we get back, and our audience has responded in kind. And so much about Extra Life now is about our community. It's not even Rooster Teeth anymore. It's about the community's response to Extra Life. And so we just try to harness that power.
Yeah, I think it's empowering people to empower other people. And I think we have an RT Florida, RT World group here from the Rooster Teeth community over there.
Yeah, there they are.
Hi, guys. And, you know, they're going out and they're empowering more people. So I think having a message that people can relate to and can get on board with that they're passionate about, like Jack said, and then go on and inspire other people and then make them passionate too.
Yeah, recognizing that it is the community that's raising these funds, that's doing this, you know, like we have our contribution and we're kind of just like the vehicle, you know, like we put on a dumb show where we're getting hurt or like eating some weird stuff, but it's very much just reiterating and reminding the audience that like this is their accomplishment, like, and we've also found it's really effective if we can have like a thing that we can show them, because everybody knows like, oh, raising money for charity is great, but like when we were able to have like the Rooster Teeth Healing Gardens, it's like we did a video and it's like, you guys accomplished this is what you like, it's a tangible thing. It's super helpful.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for me personally is I kind of founded my stuff around the hashtag Smile Always, which is about finding like good and within yourself and sharing that with the world. And being able to do charitable stuff is a big way to do that for my community. And especially with Extra Life for me, I am actually a children's hospital champion myself. I got a kidney transplant at Cincinnati Children's almost 10 years ago, and I was diagnosed there when I was 2 years old with hereditary nephritis. So being able to connect and get my audience to connect directly with that, just like I do, is probably the biggest thing that I'm able to do with my community, and that really helps drive funds for Extra Life in particular.
That's like the sweetest, most wholesome hashtag ever. I love it.
I've got to follow that up and go last, so I'll figure out whatever's left.
Sorry.
Basically, I think it's important to establish a relationship with your audience before you even begin the charity stream process, because if you're going to get them to support and believe in the causes you believe in and want to support, they've got to believe and have trust in you. So I think it's very important to be authentic and be yourself. Let them see the nerdy idiot that you really are, and once they know that that's really you, they're like, hey, this guy, he's too dumb to lie to me. I know he really believes this stuff, so let's throw a couple $100 his way, you know? And that belief and that understanding, that laughter, that shared pain whenever you play some game or you're taking a hot pepper or something and your audience is watching you suffer, that helps build a rapport that they know, like, hey, I know who Wade is, and whenever he's doing that charity stream, I'm going to go donate to it. Or I know who, you know, Rooster Teeth are. I know the message, I know the person, and therefore I want to support that cause, because if he believes in it, it must be something good. So I think it starts with you building that relationship with your audience to then take it to the next level where you guys can change the world together.
And, you know,
Nailed
it
it.
actually kind of raises something that you guys even kind of touched on a little bit when it comes to social media in this kind of vast growing world of Twitter, Instagram, Discord, all these kind of things. How best do you guys go about using those kind of tools to convey charity to your communities, rally them behind, maybe add extra incentives in there so it gets shared out a bit more? Can you guys talk about how you kind of engage in those areas?
Can I go first?
We can start at your side. Yeah, there you go.
Wade wants.
I want to lead off this cat pictures, dog pictures.
Good.
I don't use socials as well as I should, but on Twitter, whenever I'm wanting to share something inspirational or just letting them know a video is posted, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just either comment on friends' posts. It's really the banter. It's the running jokes on things and engaging when people respond to you, liking their posts or going and responding when you can. It's just that continued level of engagement that goes beyond like, hey, Wade's not live right now, but he just liked my post, or he just responded to me, or, he's being a sarcastic little poo-poo head. So, again, it's just another level of engagement to show like, hey, I'm not just me when the camera's on. I'm here for you guys whenever I can be.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I had been lucky enough to be in charge of the charity live streams for the Markiplier channel from November of 2016 to November of 2017. So I actually organized and orchestrated all of that. It was about 1.5 or a little over $1.5 million raised in that time span. And what we generally do is at the beginning of every stream, we come up with a hashtag. And it's completely outlandish and something very unique no matter what it is. I believe one was... Christmas Chungalungas was this last December charity stream. But it makes it really unique, and it becomes an inside joke throughout the entire stream so that people coming in are like, what is this hashtag? What is this Christmas Chungalungas? And that's one way we get them to engage, and they're sharing fan art, they're sharing all of that stuff through that hashtag, and we'll look through, we'll answer questions, we'll do everything through there. So you're able to get interaction and get people into stream because they're like, oh, I want to see what this is, and then also to see if they answer my questions. There's also this other great thing you can do. It's a website, gleam.io, and you can actually use that for like giveaways and earn rewards so that you can get people to share your stream and interact, like sharing a link. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you can use that to do giveaways and interact with the audience so that people that can't donate can also be involved in a way that creates a positive impact.
Yeah, like you said, hashtags are super important on social media because it's really easy then to see like, wait, especially like people sharing like highlight clips from your stream and things like that because that's very interesting. You're like, what? That dude just got hit in the nuts? What? Like, let's see what this thing's about, But yeah, we do every year is we make a video that kind of highlights Extra Life, what our message is, and it usually incorporates a little bit of the insanity from previous years. And that's important too, is just like really, getting that message out every year and reminding people that like this is what the cause is. And like we usually go out to like our hospital and we film there. And we found that's pretty good to kind of raise awareness ahead of time. Like Extra Life is coming, we put it out a little bit early, to kind of get people hyped.
Yeah, to raise awareness for it. I think also using social media in a really engaging way. So for our streams in particular, we use our hashtag RTExtraLife to get suggestions for our Wheel of Vengeance, which is if you donate $1,337, we have a big wheel with, I think it's 12 options on it. Something like that. And
it hurts.
It does. It often does, yes. And so when you donate that, we can spin the wheel, but sometimes we need suggestions for it. So Twitter is a really great way to get that, to get those suggestions rolling in. It also plays another role in that when we're using Twitter and those hashtags to interact with people, it makes the hashtag trend and it pushes it further, and then kind of we get more exposure that way. I think I really like the idea of choosing a totally random hashtag that's very specific to you. I think that's really kind of iconic for whatever it is that you're doing. But I think engaging with people, especially like Wade was saying, in order to get people hyped and make them excited about something so that they'll want to be on board and then bring their friends into it too.
Yeah, and sharing clips like while the stream's going is really important. We have there's like our unofficial gift master, I guess she's official now, Peter Hayes, who is just a community member who is like the master of gifting things that we did. But it would be happening live and there's already a gif of it out, right? And so he's been really helpful in terms of when Extra Life comes, we're like, hey dude, just like gift like crazy and spread the word. We gave him the RT channel this time, didn't we?
I think so, yeah.
And so yeah, having somebody who can like share those moments while they're happening, like with the wacky things, because that's when you want, like, that's what's going to catch someone's eye. And if it's still going on right now, it's a lot easier for them to see like, oh, now I can just go watch this right now. So that's helpful.
Yeah, and another thing with us, we're very fortunate at Rooster Teeth that we have a lot of different products coming out of Rooster Teeth, a lot of different shows, podcasts, and everything, and we use that to hype up Extra Life. And even if you don't have that, even if you are just like a casual streamer, you can always say like, hey, this is going to be coming up, and sort of like set your, put your calendar down now, because on this date it's going to get stupid or whatever you want to do. And so the more you hype it up, the more you get people excited about it. Like making it an event is always a nice thing, because people want to see like, oh, today's the day, it's going to happen. Let's see what's going to go on. So that's another way to push some kind of awareness.
So, I think the next big thing, by the way, after this question, because I know they're going to have a lot of answers with these, we will be opening up the floor to your guys' questions if you have anything that you want to ask them specifically. But when it comes to the content that you guys have during your stream, I mean, looking at these people, I know it's such a wide range of different things that you guys have done. And I think also to flow into that, not just the content, because let's face it, the incentives to donate, that's also part of the content. So what are some of the content stuff that you guys focus on before a show that you guys are going to do? I mean, gaming is definitely can be one of them, right? But what is specific to you guys that you guys will try to do? And then on the flip side, what are some of the incentives that you also put out there that this will happen if we reach that kind of goal?
Yeah, I'll talk about the incentives. I think Chad will talk about the punch.
I'm going to preface this by saying not everyone's going to have an EMT on site.
Yeah. If you get out of control, make sure to have a doctor on set. For sure. No, for us, we do every single year we've had an exclusive poster that's only available during the Extra Life weekends. We are very fortunate that we have a bunch of really great artists that work at Rooster Teeth, and so we started doing a poster, $10 for a poster, and the proceeds from that go to the Rooster Teeth donation to Extra Life every year. We've expanded that to other things too. We also do a raffle. You want to talk about the raffle, Katie?
Yeah, we get, we get all kinds of things. Rooster Teeth, because it has so many different properties, we're able to raffle off experiences, so coming to the office and doing a tour or being in a show. Or we have friends at EA who donate a bunch of stuff, Asus. And the way that we work with Extra Life is if somebody donates, say it's $50.01, they go into the raffle to win that particular prize. So, is that, yeah?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And then Chad, you want to talk about?
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting because Extra Life started early on as a gaming marathon stream, and it's just slowly evolved into this variety show of drunken insanity. And it's really funny when we meet executives from CMN or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, we've heard you raised a lot of money. What do you do?" And I'm like, I like to call it terrible things in the name of good. But I mean that's just we're fortunate to have an office full of really creative people and that really want to contribute to this. So we really plan it ahead of time, and everyone's thinking about their segment and how to take it to the next level. And we're usually oh, but what if we did this? And so it's basically just finding the thing that you're really passionate about and what could be really visually entertaining, and then also how to tie good stretch goals into it, right? And one thing that's been just so effective for us is this wheel. The Wheel of Vengeance is what it's currently called.
That's its current iteration.
Yeah. And that's just that's where all the crazy stuff goes, right? So we have a paintball wall, and we've also got progressively worse to ourselves, because it started as get shot by a paintball, but now it's paintball firing squad, 3 paintball guns, and they shoot 3 bullets.
Not real bullets. We want to.
Yeah, sorry, real 3 paintballs. I'm worried we're gonna get there eventually, though. It's I'll get shot.
Hashtag for the kids.
But the wheel's great.
Always, every time.
Yes, hashtag, it's always I have PTSD because you're it's for the kids. I'm something bad's coming. But the wheel's really effective, and for us, we chose that elite donation. But if you guys are maybe smaller streams, but finding something that they like that chance of okay, here's all this awful stuff that's on the wheel, and they know that if they contribute that amount, they get to make you have to do something there. And so for us, that's I was blown away when we said it. They told me in my first Extra Life, it's $1,337. I'm like, okay, cool, that won't happen a lot. I was wrong. So it's wild, and that's been a really great thing. So having a really entertaining thing and having this extra wacky thing that they can participate in really helps incentivize donations.
I feel like I want to quickly say it doesn't have to be. I know that what we do is pretty unique, and it's it's a little different. But you don't have to have something like that. You don't have to put yourself through that necessarily. there are other ways that you can do it. And also, we found out a few years ago, it's when Jack and I brought the stream kind of down and sat down and talked about our message and why it was that we were doing what we're doing. That was when the greatest flood of donations actually came in. And so, it's funny how humans work and that we kind of all exist on a spectrum, but in order to empower people or to make them kind of feel strongly about something, you're either down here where it's like, it's for kids, it's really important, our mental health unit, everyone's, experienced some mental health issue at some point in their life, and then it's like, Chad in the paintball wall, excuse me, yeah, we're gonna fire him. Anyway, yeah, so I want to say that it's, it doesn't have to be, up here the whole time. And you can absolutely do those things. I know on Twitch, I don't think you're allowed to do drinking stuff. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that anymore. But, you
It's
can.
juice.
It's totally just juice. Or you're like off the side and you're like, I swear I'm not drinking. But yeah, you can also really focus on a message and kind of, hone that and use that to kind of push donations too.
Tyler?
I mean, I'm going to talk more about the content side, but I did a charity stream by myself on January 1st, and one of the biggest things that I did is I created a schedule. So at a certain point in time, I had different guests come on. Wade actually popped onto my stream. We played a game together. But I had it. Charity? Yes. But basically what I did is I created this schedule, and I had a plan for if you donate a certain amount, I'll put this sticker up or something like that. And unfortunately, I didn't get the supplies for that at the time, so I came up with something else. But one of the biggest things that I find out is shout-outs are always a huge, huge helper with getting donates. So if you see a donation come across and you're able to shout out the names, people love that. That gets people to donate more often, and it gives them the appreciation that they really do deserve. But being able to mix up on different things, and even when you need a break, if you can plan ahead and record something for that interstitial bit and say, if we reach so much raise during that amount, have some sort of punishment for you, have something that you have to do when you get back. I played Fortnite, and if people donated a certain amount, I had to get up and dance and emote in stream to try and win the game. So I got sabotaged constantly. And if there's one thing I know from Mark, it's that people love seeing you rage. So being able to give them that opportunity to try and get me completely destroyed in Fortnite was absolutely fantastic, and fail at dancing at the same time. They were having the best cringe fest and rage fest that they could ever ask for. But there are so many different ways to do stuff. I know we did like a charity stream where we did more live action bits. We did charity streams where we do mostly video games the whole time. But there's so much you can do. And we did like a bobbing for apples thing. And each apple, it was a different punishment. But it could be a punishment for you. It could be a punishment with somebody that's your stream mate. And each time we reached a certain milestone within our certain goal, we would have to bob for an apple and find out what that punishment was. You can also schedule them out. You can also have them say, we reached a certain amount, then I'm going to do an entire stream as this character, and I can't break character the entire time, which I did, and I had to be Benjamin Butler for an hour-long stream, acting like the audience was interviewing me for a job for a butler. So there are a lot of different ways. Get creative with it, make it your own, and make sure it's something your audience will connect with, because that will really drive donations, particularly for your stream and what you're doing.
Yeah, and like he's saying, the punishments are great. People always like to see people get punished, but they don't have to be like horrible like what we do. Like it's really, like you can very much be like, oh yeah, we're playing this game, and so okay, we're gonna only use a pistol if we reach this, and then like you can do it in a much tame and safer way.
Doesn't have to cause bodily harm.
Yes.
I think there are still some words in the dictionary that haven't been spoken in the last few minutes. I'm trying to come up with them. Honestly, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, right? You have to know your audience and know what they want. My audience and I have a sadistic relationship where I chew them out. They chew me out. They always win. But typically it's like, oh, no, you won't do that to me. And then they do something like that to me. So like I did Tricky Towers, which is like a Tetris-like game where you can knock your stuff over. And during that, there was like a $1 donation like train where I had to stop and read every donation as it came up on screen while trying to win the game. And so I was, thank you, Bob, for the $3 donation. Oh, you have a 3-paragraph message to go with it. Well, let me see that. Oh, God, no, that piece didn't go there. God, and then like, trying to read all this stuff. And then you can kind of amp it up, right? So at the end of the night, my wife, Molly, who's in the audience here, she did my makeup. And then I had to sing I Feel Pretty and dance to Mulan's I'll Make a Man Out of You.
Oh my God.
So there's physical paintball pain, and then there's the pain of seeing yourself wearing makeup, trying to dance and sing on camera for the next rest of your life. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways you can incentivize your audience to donate, but it's important to constantly go back, refer to the message, let them know why they're donating, why you're here, because it's very easy to get caught up in whatever game you're playing, whatever shenanigans you got going on, and forget, like, oh yeah, it's been 2 hours since I've mentioned why we're raising this money. So you want to always encourage them as to why what they're doing is important and let them know, like, every dollar does help. Because whenever you don't have those dollar donations, you get a couple $100 donations, that's great. But if you get 500 $1 donations, that trumps the 2 $100 donations you might get. So it's every amount matters, and you've got to constantly remind them, like, hey, what you're doing is important. Don't get caught up in the fact that someone donated $1,000 and you can't. The fact that you're helping means the world to the people that you're helping, and it should make you feel better about what you're doing. And you can sell T-shirts, make the proceeds go to the charity. There's so many different things you can do. It's just important to be creative about it. Know your audience and know what they would like. You can ask them. I got my reached my charity goal like 6 hours into a 12-hour stream, and like I was trying to do stretch goals that I hadn't even thought of, and I was like, well, what do you guys want? And they're like, we want you to sing. Like I was like, I've been in the public eye for a long time. Like, oh, that was definitely their tone.
Okay.
For 7 years, I've been in the public eye, and I'm still the least comfortable thing I can possibly do is try to sing. I could do anything else. I would probably be able to strip and like cover myself in pie and like run around.
Please don't do this on Twitch.
I won't, because I would only be there once. But singing for me is like the most uncomfortable thing to do publicly. But we reached our like highest possible stretch goal, and I was like, well, I told you I'd do it. So what am I singing? Oh, I Feel Pretty. Okay, here we go. So that's basically just know your audience.
Yeah, and adding on to the $1 donation thing, you might have saw me. I was mentioning this a lot last night at the end of the stream. But if people have already donated or they don't have the funds to donate, they can still contribute in other ways. And getting that messaging out there, like, please, like, share the link, like, send it out on all your social media, like, because you never know, like, who that might bring in. So this person might have already donated $5 and that's all they could do, and that's great. But then they're promoting on social media and they bring in somebody who happened to see it and they were like, here's $500 or something like that. You know, just like, or they bring in 20 people who donate, $5 or whatever. Like, that letting them know that, like, people who feel like they can't donate, that they can still contribute to the message, and that's still just as important. I feel it goes a really long way.
Yeah, there's also, talking about the $1 donations, there's a particular story we always use. Has anybody in the audience heard of the Starfish Story?
One person.
Congratulations, you win these
All right.
X-Men socks that were here for some reason.
So the Starfish... So the Starfish Story goes like,
Nailed it. Nice catch.
There's this beach, and this old man lives by this beach, and every tide it washes up hundreds upon millions of starfish onto the shore. And if you know starfish, when they sit in the sun, they dry up and they die. Well, there's this kid that keeps walking up and down the shore, and the old man's watching, and he sees this kid every day pick up every starfish that he happens to come across and throw it back into the ocean. The old man's sitting there puzzled, completely bewildered by this, and finally gets up the courage to approach the kid after a few days of this. He walks up to the kid and he says, "Kid, why are you picking up that starfish and throwing it in there? You can't possibly have an impact. There are so many starfish on this beach. You're not making a difference." And the kid, without saying anything, bends down and picks up a starfish at his feet, throws it in the water, and says it mattered to that one. And that really drives $1 donations, and you ask them to say, with that $1 donation, just comment starfish, because those starfish add up. And that $1, you never know, could save a life.
God, you're going to make me tear
I
up.
was going to
I
say,
know,
do
right?
not bring tissues for this.
Cool.
It's fun.
Yeah.
That story.
Look at the starfish story.
Let's talk about incentives.
So that's a really great way if you're really getting close to a goal or something like that to get a final push. Almost every single charity stream that we've done, I've been asked to read that story or recite that story just because it really pushes the donations and it connects so much with so many people.
How many times have you teared up doing that?
Almost pretty much every single time. I was starting to tear up.
I heard you. You were holding it, man. Yeah.
Your voice was getting that quiver right there. But, I mean, seriously, as you can tell, it takes all kinds, all different kinds of things. I mean, you saw it with us even yesterday, just shaving something unsighted or shaving your entire head.
Huge shout out.
Right there.
Ernie.
Colored hair. By the way, real quick, did you FaceTime with your wife? Did she find out?
She wasn't available for FaceTime. I didn't send her a picture.
Good.
What'd you say?
Her response was, well, Easter was for the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hashtag for the kids.
Also, I want to say I called it. Remember, he texted her and said, "I'm sorry," and I'm like, "You can't do that because
No.
then the first response is, what did you do?"
Exactly.
And that's exactly.
In all caps, what did you do?
Yeah.
So perfect. So as you guys can see, I mean, your content, it's all going to be based around your your interests, who you are as a person, your personal stories. So I think it's not about fitting a different mold. It's about being you guys and how do you amplify that, as we see
100%.
with all these guys. So just focus on being you and what you guys can do. But also, if any of these resonate with you outside of anything that needs an EMT, take those and make it your own. I think that's the biggest thing. Like for me personally, I saw a caster continue do this thing with balloon popping behind her, and I was like, well, loud noises scare me, so I'm now going to take that balloon, fill it with confetti, put a little a incentive that's going to have to happen to me. I'm going to put it in front of my face and pop it, and I'm still finding confetti in my house a year later.
Yeah.
But these things work. It's about finding what resonates with you and what can work. So let's go ahead and take some questions from the audience. I think that probably the easiest here would be, I'm going to move from the front on here back. So just make sure when we call again, you guys put your hands back up. So
You know a little trick I learned that makes Q&As like super easy for when you're calling on people?
Please.
Have them hold up an interesting item. And
Okay.
then you can call on the item. That way you're not like, you, wait, no, you, or whatever. It usually is.
I like that. Well, I mean, you have the amazing cape right there. So I'm
There we go.
But I'm liking that idea. So
Preferably
keep it.
PG items.
Yes.
Don't get naked like he suggested.
One guy took his shirt off once and was swinging it around. Yeah.
How do you deal with members of your community who are not being nice or trying to bring the mood down during a charity event?
So basically the question is, how do you deal with toxicity in your chat when you're trying to do some good?
Definitely have mods. Like, they're very important. And, those people, sometimes you can give them a little warning and then they shape up. And if not, then they get muted. And if that doesn't work, then ban them.
Well-established rules and punishments. Like, if you break this rule, you'll get a timeout. You break it again, you're banned. Like, that kind of thing. Let them know, like, look at the rules, you're breaking them. And if they do it again and again, it's like, you had your chance.
One of the best ways I've found to actually, and have gotten some people to turn around, is you actually address them and be like, hey, I understand you're frustrated with something or something's going on in your life and you're upset, and it bothers me that you're bringing it here, but I acknowledge that, and just understand we're here trying to raise money for these kids who are fighting like terrible illnesses all over the place. And I've had so many people turn around and just be like, I'm so sorry. Thank you for actually, like, some of them will just do it for attention, but thank you for acknowledging me, and then I'm excited to stick around. I've seen people turn around and start donating lots of money. I've seen people start doing stuff like that. So there's definitely a multifaceted approach to it, because you won't always get that response, but that's always a good way to address it and possibly turn it around.
Yeah, absolutely. That was exactly what I was going to say. And it also helps to reinforce, that you're in this because you're passionate about this project, and that you're not about, you're not here just to kind of take something like that and just to say, like you said, that sucks that you're feeling that way, but like hopefully you can enjoy this because we're raising money for this special thing, and we want you on board, and I'm glad that you're here, but let's kind of be in the spirit of this thing for sure.
Very cool. Well, so we have these GameStop gives things. So I'm going to throw that. Oh,
Okay.
perfect.
What a throw and catch.
Yeah.
Good job.
Perfect.
You didn't
All
know
right.
we were all professional athletes, too, did you?
Sports.
got
so,
those.
all right. Interesting items in the air. I see hat raised. Hat raised back there, sir.
Not so much promoting your own content on a charity stream. What would you say would be the best ways if you have like multiple friends who are also doing their own stuff, helping them promote their charity stream?
So how do you go about helping to promote your friends' charity streams?
I mean, one of the quickest ways that I know how to do it is, first of all, talk to your friend and see if there's an interesting way that you could possibly help out with the stream. So, like, if your audience is really bent on wanting to see you or something like that, and maybe you can have an incentive if your friend's okay with it to reach a goal and then you appear. That's one way. But the other way is, like, you can definitely host on your channel. And one of the best ways that, like, Wade and I actually did this yesterday. We started streaming just before we went on to host the Extra Life live stream that was going on, and we actually rated the stream before we went on, so that we could make sure and try and gather as much of our audience as we could and send them straight over for when we were going to be on there, so that, like, we're hyping them up for the stream, we're telling them what we're about to do, all of that, and just sending a raid over. Social media is always a great place to do that, but just being engaging and actually being at that stream can also help.
I think having a schedule too, I assume you mean you're streaming at different times and not necessarily together.
So, like, if I'm not streaming at all, it just happens to be another person in the community that's doing it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Can I get my people or other people's people? Because I'm an admin for a community in St. Louis. I have a ton of people who go, it's just having trouble getting their attention next.
oh for sure. Yeah, I would do a curated blast is always good on social media. So if you have a Twitch channel, hosting obviously, and then just, you know, using all of your social media, because I mean you'll have people who follow you maybe on Instagram that not on Facebook, or, you know, and just kind of sending them all that way, even a couple times if you have to.
Yeah, and another thing you can do too is if you can reach out to them and see if they want to like work together and kind of combine forces to do like a collaborative stream that's longer, and like, hey, I noticed you guys are all like in a similar vein. You guys are all trying to raise money for kids. So, like, you guys want to like all stream on this one channel or however, and okay, you'll take this time slot and you'll take this time slot, and it's a good way to bring audiences together, and discover new people, and it can be pretty effective.
Yeah, and really just being a hype man for that channel too. That's always a thing. It's like, oh my, like, you guys, you got to see what's going on right now. You got to check this out, and be like they were saying before, be in there too. Like, if you're gonna push your community to someone else, they want to know you are there. You're not just like taking advantage. Like, oh, I got these eyeballs. You go look that way. I'm gonna go get some lunch. It's like, no, you need to be in there with them and actually being a part of it as well. And they'll see you responding and reacting, and they'll be like, oh, hey, he's in there too. Cool. So,
If it's hours that you can't be there as well, if you have like a public Discord with your audience or your Twitter, you can always just retweet, or else say, hey guys, I can't be live right now, but go check out my friend so-and-so. Or if you have like a Discord with your audience, you can always have like an announcements tab where it's like, hey, I'm away right now, but my friend's doing a great charity stream over at this place, and send them that way. So there's different ways to reach your audience if you can't be a part of it at that particular time too.
Very cool. So next, and automatically, I saw sunglasses just right out there raised. All right, so the question. You said clean guy and stuff. I never heard of it. So that was helpful. So that I wrote it down, so I don't forget. Something like that you use. So the question is outside of Twitch,
And
what
social
are some
media.
things that you can use to shout out the streams, the charity streams?
What's the
Just helpful in any way.
what's
My
the,
wife, I ask her for help. I ask her for advice. She'll come in and do makeup on stream. I ask friends for ideas, for incentives.
Yeah, so just give his wife a call.
Yeah, Molly will gladly come do your makeup for you. But no, like honestly, like people that know you, they might have something that's like, hey, it's really funny when you do that one thing. Maybe you should do that stupid Smeagol impression and sing a song as that. Or maybe we should.
Or Gump Woody.
I'm never doing that again, probably. But no, like other than what, I'm sure they've got websites and stuff, so I was trying to think outside the box of something else. But honestly, like having friends come over and do something funny together, because people like seeing genuine interaction. And if you have a genuine friend that lives nearby, or a loved one, someone that can come on stream and you have a good banter with, they can either give you ideas or join you on stream for something, or have some kind of punishment or something like that. So if you're looking for ideas, the people that know you best are some of the best people to consult for those.
Or someone with a personal story who's gone through some of the things you may be raising money for. If you could find somebody locally, or whether it's somebody or a friend of a friend, or even just like reaching out to like a local hospital and seeing if anybody would want to come on stream and speak to that. Like that can be really effective too.
we use a straw poll, to do, he seems like writing this down, for our voting things, for games that we're going to play, or for, Wheel of Vengeance stuff that we want to put on it, or, who's going to eat this thing, or, anyway, it's super effective. It's literally just, a polling service, and last year we utilized it a lot, and it was super helpful.
Yeah, there's another tool too. This one's probably kind of expensive, but it's called Megaphone, and it allows you to do on-the-fly polling. And so we have that integrated into our streams. So like we can literally at any point be like, hey, quick, pull up a poll. Which one of these people should have to eat this spicy thing? Chad or Jack. And then they can pull it up, and you can go to roosterteeth.com/live. You can set up your own custom URL, and they can literally interact at that moment. And then the polling system goes, and then we can just pull up the results instantly. It's more of a professional tool, and it's probably pretty expensive, but it is super effective and like really cool for like on-the-fly stuff.
Well, and Twitch even has a bunch of extensions you can use. I know Streamlabs recently created a bot that you can download and create all kinds of custom stuff with. You can have quotes in it, all sorts of things like that. But you can also use any kind of website that has an event service. So like Facebook has Facebook events. You've got Eventbrite. Those places where you can send out email blasts. You can send it out on social media, all those things to preemptively hype for your charity event or your charity stream. You can use really anything that gives that schedule out. Those are always great ways to get people to that actual stream.
And help remind them when it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, stories, too. That's always a big thing. So stories from people involved with the charity you're working on, that's always really, like, anytime you can, like, express where your donations are going and what the impact they're having, that's always huge. And that's totally an offline thing, too.
Oh, and definitely don't forget you can reach out to like your local chapter of Extra Life or contacts through that and charity networks, and they might be able to tweet you out and do stuff like that. So,
All right, perfect. We're going to try this right here. Nope.
Also, I love that person
I had the
didn't
one
even
perfect-
flinch. It's just coming right for just.
You had a lot of...
They knew the fourth row was dangerous.
yeah, exactly. They knew what was happening.
Splashes
I think a red bag...
Yeah, that's you.
First aid kit.
Oh, yeah.
I recognize that.
Ooh, good question.
So what are some common mistakes that people have when doing charity streams and how to fix them?
We forget to eat. And I know it seems really silly. I'm so passionate about it. We forget to eat, and we forget to drink, and we forget to take breaks. And it can be really, really rough. And I think
We forget to drink water.
yeah.
we forget to drink water, yes. So I think that it's really important to remember that the best you need to be the best you in order to do what you're doing, in order to empower other people and to push this message and get donations. So it's really important to take breaks, even if it's just like getting up for like 2 seconds and stretching and making it a bit, right? Like, oh, it's stretching time, and you get up and you just like be silly and you stretch. That's getting up and moving again and getting your blood flow going. And yeah, so you can have this.
You don't have to stop. You can finish what you're saying.
That's pretty much it. Just make sure that you drink lots of water. Red Bull is I think it's tasty. Red Bull is great. Pizza is great, but just make sure that you're taking breaks, using the restroom, drinking lots of water, and eating snacks that are going to sustain you, because I promise you that will make such a difference.
And I would actually really quick like to add, because I know a lot of people up here, we've done 24-hour streams, this and that. Especially if it's your first time, choose an appropriate hour. Just don't go all out 24 because you've seen other people do it. Remain as health conscious as possible.
Yeah. And one other thing that I see a lot of people doing, like we have a lot of different groups within our stream. We do like different segments, and we'll have some groups that just forget the message. Whereas this, like, they'll go for an hour and a half and not once mention, oh, this is for Extra Life, or this is for the kids, or this is for Adult Children's. And that's a huge thing, because you might have someone tuning in who just like, all right, I'm going to drop in your stream. I don't know what's going on right now. And they watch for 30 minutes. You never once mention, oh, this is a charity stream. And then they leave and they have no idea what was going on. So that's a big thing too, is pushing your message over and over. Reminding people, hey, don't forget extra-life.org/Rooster Teeth, or whatever your URL may be.
Yeah. And also, like, things will go wrong. It happens in a stream, and just roll with it. Like, embrace it. Don't try and like cover it up if something's like clearly going wrong, because I found like the audience is usually down if they're just like, you're like, oh yeah, that didn't work at all like how I planned it, and that's a bad idea, you know, like, and then just having fun with that and be like, well, now I guess I'm gonna have to eat these spicy things, or like whatever, you know, just roll with it. If something goes wrong, it's fine. You can address it with your audience, and then just adapt.
Yeah, one of the biggest things too is, especially if you do multiple different charities, remember to know what your actual charity is and what they do. So when you talk about it, you're just like, oh yeah, this is for Extra Life. They help kids. Give them more. Give them something that'll connect with them. Give them something that more description as to what actually the money goes towards. Things like that to really hit it home. The other thing is when things go wrong, it's really easy to get down. Say you're not reaching your goal. You're not getting to where you wanted to be. Keep staying positive because every little bit helps. And if you get down on the fact that you're not reaching that goal, then they're going to get down about how little they're able to donate.
Right.
Keep trying to have a positive attitude because you are doing something absolutely immensely great, and stay on top of that and keep it positive.
I do want to say one of the other things that people commonly do is set unreasonable goals. So it's really important to set a reasonable goal because, we're so lucky that we have this media company that we're able to, be facilitators of large-scale donations. But, these donations are full of hundreds and thousands of people who are donating little bits of money. And so to be an individual streaming, it is a bit unreasonable if you set your goal at like $20,000 and you're streaming for 8 hours, So setting a reasonable goal that you're likely to hit and feel really good about, and your audience feels really, really good about, and then surpassing that, as opposed to hitting a goal that you just missed, or that you're pretty far away from missing, because that can leave you feeling kind of down and like you didn't do as much as you should have done, when really you did amazingly. It's just that you set the expectation a little bit too high.
Right. Even if your goal is $100, if you get that, you've succeeded, and the audience now feels like they've succeeded, and everything else is just bonus. That's very important. We're very, very conscious about the goals that we set.
Yeah. Nothing's. I mean, we have a lot of people on the team Rooster Teeth that work for or like do Extra Life stuff for other locations, and I've had a bunch of people be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I only raised $200 for the team," and it's like, that's amazing. Like, you raised $200. That is absolutely incredible, and it's funny because like they see these big numbers. It's like, oh, well, I only did this, and it's like any dollar. If you raise $5, I would be psyched. It's like having that sort of energy and that positivity is very, very important.
Yeah, you never let other people's, like, you see Bill Gates donate a couple $1 million, like, oh, well, I had $20, all right. But don't feel bad about that. You give what you can give, and like every little bit helps. If everyone gave $20, it would way outmatch Bill Gates' $1 million donation, But like Tyler said, staying positive matters, because whenever you're doing a charity stream, whether or not you intend to, you are representing that charity. So if you're playing a game that's going to make you really actually upset, and like salty rage, like, where you're kind of like fake angry, that can be funny. But if you're actually just getting really upset playing a game and you're representing, like a kid's charity, and it's awkward and not fun to watch, people aren't going to donate, they're going to leave. So you want to play games that are going to be like fun, and even if things get, ragey, you want to have fun with it. I play Uno on stream all the time, and I fly up, I scream at the ceiling, but it's all like a fun rage.
Yeah.
I don't actually like want to throw my computer at a wall. It's just like, I can't believe this happened. Like I scream, my voice gets all high pitched, and I look like a psychopath, but it's all in good fun. But also have backup plans. So I do a lot of multiplayer online, and sometimes friends either oversleep at 7:00 at night for some reason, or can't show up. Something comes up, and it's like, oh well, I had this intentionally 4-player multiplayer game. Now that they're not going to show up, what am I going to do? So I have a couple backup games. Have something solo you can do to pass the time by, or just think through like, if this doesn't happen, what can I do to fill that time slot? And always make sure that you're staying on focus with what your goal is and staying positive and just trying to encourage the message. And whatever you're feeling on the inside, even if you're upset or tired, you got to fight through, either wrap up the stream, or you got to fight through it and just keep that positive attitude up, because people are going to feed off of your energy, and if you're not bringing it, neither will they.
And just following up on something that Tyler said about knowing your charity, one thing that we found is super effective is picking a specific thing. Like, so we raise money for Dell Children's, and the last 2 years, our narrative was mental health, right? So, like, being able to say, like, the money that you are donating is going towards helping, in our case, it was build this wing of the new mental health unit. And then our whole message is about, like, mental health there's this stigma about it in society. There's many people are struggling with it. Don't feel like you're alone. Like, having that specific message was like, it's always good to raise money for children's charities, but making it a little bit more personal. And if you can be informative while you're also doing this, I found it's really helpful. That's one thing that Dell was talking to us a lot about that, like not just the money that we raise, but also like really trying to change that stigma in the case of mental health, and that it's not like this, you're not ostracized. So many people suffer from this, and like you're not alone, and there is ways that you can get help, is, you know, just as important.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be necessarily, and over the years we did an MEG machine, we've done simulation dolls for doctors to practice on, and then the mental health unit, but it doesn't have to be something like that. A lot of hospitals have something called a one sheet, where it basically tells you for if a $25 donation comes in, that actually pays for 100 NICU nappies. And if $100 comes in, that pays for a translator for a deaf child, you know, and so having something that people can equate a dollar amount to a thing is super helpful. So you don't have to necessarily pick, we're again lucky that we're able to do that, but you don't have to necessarily pick a thing and say this money is going directly towards this, but just tell them what the value of their money is in donating it. That can be really, really powerful.
So we have unfortunately gone a little over time here, and we have another panel coming up here in very shortly. But I know you guys should be available for a few minutes here afterwards. Maybe if you gonna ask them any more questions. I do know you. Let's see if we can do this. No. Okay. Perfect.
You started
Actually,
so
it's off
strong.
camera. Wait, no, it's off camera. Hey, look, he caught it. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
And he did that flip too. It was
I know,
crazy.
right? It was insane. Guys. Jeez, right? Guys, can we get a round of applause for this amazing panel? Once again, you guys can, of course, get Jack, Katie, and Chad on Rooster Teeth, and find Tyler and Wade on YouTube and Twitch, along with all of them on Other Side. One more time, round of applause, and hope you guys have a beautiful day.